everyone. I'll just readjust this a little more. Okay, so join along and listen if you want to open up more and more the bigger picture that we're a part of. That we can create with. So let's just get into it, and whoever doesn't understand that first statement, it'll open up, because this shouldn't take too long, but you know, some of my talks can go on to other things, whatever is connecting and wanting to flow, because it feels a resonance somewhere on this planet of opening it up. So I will open it up and talk about it. But other than that, it's good when I can just get to the point about a few things that we can open up ourselves in our own lives. So what the board says, if you can't see it properly with some of the light reflection, illusions are what we make along the way, but are they aligned to the plan of our sacred contract? We can do anything, yes, but will it be soul and whole content and content worthy? So content meaning, like, I want to break this word down for a second. So content meaning I feel content, you know, content. And it also means content. What does something contain? So when I broke that word down further in contemplation, there's another con word, contemplation. So I want us to just be aware of this. I don't know the origins of this word essentially through history, but what I'm feeling into is that anything that starts with con is coming from a present inner place. Okay, just con. It's like, just you refer to it for now as an inner place, an inner presence. Because what follows it speaks of what's happening in the present moment. So content, tent. So what is contained? What is the contents? What is the content? And like contemplation, what am I doing? So templation is coming from me doing it. Contemplating. Connection, obvious. So I am connecting. I am doing it. You're making a connection with something. Constriction, you're constricting something. You are doing it. Or you're seeing it. You're describing, seeing something is constricting. So anyway, I want to bring that to our attention because there's two meanings to that word. Yes, we can do any illusions, but will it be soul and whole content? So it is a feeling from within where you know you're content from soul and wholeness. And we can't talk about everything in this video, but wholeness, I think we know from most of my videos, is taking into account the whole multi-dimensional design of the human energy field connected to the whole of the universal design, and therefore all the magic involved in that of universal law established is a wholeness we're a part of that we can't change. We are a part of it. So will it be soul and whole, content and content is the feeling, worthy? So yeah, we can do any illusions while we're on earth, but is it this? Because that's your clear sign that you're working with everything, the universe. So your wholeness, and you'll feel it, content, if it's coming from your soul. Okay? And the opposite being if your life is taking a trail of confusion or worry and figuring out and whatnot, it's not of soul. It's of human running around in the human energy field, which we can do any illusions in. And it's got pretty messy on earth at the moment. So the answer to that question is no, it won't always feel whole of soul, content and contentment, because we are here to make mistakes, fall down, learn, get back up. But what are we getting back up to learn and grow towards? Well, a few things that there is before entering this dimension for this particular time as well. A soul contract, a sacred, so soul of heaven and earth, our souls come to earth. So we're learning what we've brought with us this time, because our soul is eternal and we've done a lot for the evolution of the soul here and now. So we're going to fall down doing other things, but out of the fall down we're going to sit back and go, oh, but yeah, I learned that and I learned that and I really like that bit. And the soul, the human keeps going, opening up this soul awareness to better and better and more things. So my little diagram here was the two solid points. There is the pathway, and like a tree root system here, it's not always going to feel soul content, but what we do find is what we'll take forward with us on the path, right? But the others, yes, we've done them, but they're not coming with us. We've learned from them. We don't need it. But there's other things we've learned and we will take with us and we grow. So that looks like tree roots. I thought interesting because I've got a tree down here. It's all relevant, you know. Some roots won't support the tree, are just part of the beginning of the tree, and then it's fed other thicker root system for the growth of the tree. So understand who you are, and that takes action, obviously. You're walking the path, you're choosing, whatnot, and what you are given for this lifetime's purpose. Okay, so there's lots of power in that last statement, and that's our journey. We're understanding who we are via some of our root systems that we learn come in with us. Some we'll leave behind, some won't support our growth, and we're doing all the amazing free will choosing, any kind of illusions, right? But the clear indication when you discover you're making your choices and you have the free will is it will feel more content because you drop away that which isn't for the soul this lifetime. Okay? There's a whole power packed punch in that, because that's what we're doing all the time, but we don't realize it. So we understand who we are, just like this tree, who we are via this inaction in life and what you are given for this lifetime's purpose. So the purpose is always coming back to how do you feel? Central to your being is your chest, your heart. How do you feel? And are you in clarity with your whole understanding of the multidimensional aspect of us and the soul? So connected, heavenly energy. How do you feel? Center of your being. Is it in clarity aligned to growth? Okay, because there's no more thinking that we are just humans to get a job, have children, get married, play our roles, and that is it. And treat each other along the lines of money is the ruler and this is the layers in life. Okay? There's not just that. There is, are you content in wholeness and soulness? All right? And so the feeling of this, and this is one of my branchings off. Now I've explained it and that just hit the 11th minute. But the branching off that I'm getting come through this is a picture of the tree again. And in my last video where I sat down at the whiteboard, I did a picture of a tree, the seeds. The seeds are at the orange sacral plexus, right? These are seeds that the soul was planted with before coming here and are going to evolve, expand, and grow once here. As you're walking this process in life, this yellow in action, who you are, you're doing that, and you discover what you've been given for this lifetime's purpose. So like a cycle at the solar plexus, the yellow, you are walking this, discovering who you are, sharing yourself with the world, and it comes up to the heart consciousness and your growth as a tree all the way up, heaven and earth. As you're discovering this, the seeds will be allowed to rise in consciousness. So more and more of you comes online where it's not such a maturity dilemma anymore, because you've gotten through the human maturity of mucking around in illusions, and you're more focused on, I'm a creator. What am I creating with this power support system? What has my soul come to do in this lifetime? Because that's the content, and that's where you will feel content. Now, so the feeling I got was at the hip region, which is very much a grounding resource for our evolution at the moment. It's going to feel like in our everyday lives, and we already know this because it's happening. The earth is getting shaken up by saying, you know, you aren't going to do things the old ways anymore, because now is the time where the light flow on us, and we've come here for it, is going to water, fertilize new growth, and you are going to grow upward in your consciousness. So everything's going to change, you know. And that's okay as far as I'm concerned, because we're a part of the whole thing. So when I say everything, there is no longer a separation that says, I am just this human being and that will not affect me. When you relax out of that safety net and go to like the surface of your sphere, right? So normally the 3D human is, I'm the center of the universe. I can, nothing out there actually has an effect. I'm not doing it, so it doesn't have an effect. All right? It does, okay? It does. One way or another, the energy field, the wholeness of the universe, us in it, yes, it all plays a part. All right? You might see it directly, you might not. It might be happening in your hometown, it might be happening on the other side of the world. It's all going to be felt in one way or another. So too, right? When you think you're the only one in your sphere, your soul is waiting for connection with you. So you're not just this human in the center of your world anymore. Take the time out to sit where you release that mind, emotions, role playing, illusion creating, and observe. And there's beauty in that, to realize I don't want to be all of what that human is putting out. Or there is more coming through from my soul, this heavenly connection that wants something of me, like to do something different, to grow. So it's this very fluid and flexible softness of the universe, because the universe and the guidance teams don't go unless the human is taking lots of like short pushes to get something they think they want, like pushing against when they're getting signs. You're not given that for this lifetime. That's where we've got to really come up against ourselves, our egos, or even just thought forms, energy in our field that have said, I really want this and I really want it to look like that. Well, you're part of a whole universe, and like to come here, you do have something beautiful set up, but maybe it's just not that. You know, that thing that you keep pushing for. So you have to accept when it doesn't feel content and you're trying to push for it, there's something else. So it's difficult for the human being in the center of their little universe with themselves thinking, why isn't life a certain way? Because I'm thinking it. I'm an illusion creator. You're part of a whole thing, and it has to go back to, does it feel content right now to do that? No. Okay, we'll step back. There is another way. It's got to do with your plan. It's got to do with heart. It's got to do with growth. Everything is to do with this light evolution assisting the planet. It is in forward motion. It is happening. It is the age of Aquarius, which is fluid living. Here is divine knowledge flow. Okay, this isn't actually some storybook wonderland. This is actually divine flow. You have amazing multidimensional beings. You have souls. You're only here for this lifetime. You may come back as someone else in another lifetime, but for this 100 years or so, work out with us through the use of your consciousness and follow how it feels, and put your brain, your mind, and your heart together and listen to the heart as to how it's leading, how it's feeling. Okay, because what we have thought in this world due to the mind construct overpowering humans is that if we think it, if we get enough people together and we lead it, everyone will believe this is the way. Okay, but that just leads us into walls because we're all different. The only things that do succeed is when the heart comes forth using the mind resource, all we've learned, all we've known, and as we evolve with this, we are heart-led growth consciousness, wisdom, flow, age of Aquarius supporting this is our growth. Okay, so it can't be divisive and really hidden and sneaky and just for some. It's just not the time we're in anymore. And that's the immaturity consciousness of a lot on the planet that you cannot exclude wholeness and think you're winning something. And that's that. And so we've hit the 20th minute, and that sounds good to me because I just wanted to get to that point, and I'll leave this on the board and it will probably open up to some other short videos. And like lots of questions that come through. Questions that I can answer or have a reach to answer. Like my guidance team working with me will highlight unanswered energy field questions that will help raise awareness, consciousness, everything I've just mentioned, the time we're in, recognition of, all the fact to come back to how do we feel at our heart centers, and we must take them forward for growth. It's not I'll hide my heart and I'll just put forward this force and that's how I will lead something. Yeah. That is like truly the only picture understanding I get of it is it's beyond manure. So what does that do? Fertilize. So it's just to land, take whatever goodness that helps the earth as we keep moving forward in our evolution. Because the whole perspective is, oh yeah, light can use that. We'll shine on that. Like light will help the process of getting rid of what's not needed. Yeah. Okay, yeah. We don't actually use it in a way because it's not soul content worthy. So let's just take a breath. Well, I will anyway. Join me. I'll slow down for a sec. Didn't finish shortly if there's anything else to come up, because there is something speaking of soul. We can just slow down for a sec and look at the I'm just going to be looking at the board for what is the focus. Yeah, so I think you can see how it all comes together as I wrote this, the flow of it. Is what we're doing aligned to a sacred contract? And the only way we know that, well, first we have to, perhaps if you don't know much about that, you can do some research into it. It branches out from the fact before a spirit comes here for more of soul evolution experience, essentially, in one of the most slowed down dimensions that really has progressed wonderfully. Earth has progressed wonderfully in what we're capable of, but we're just forgetting the bigger picture, that it's what we're capable of, not competitiveness to a fault. We're all capable of bringing much good through our beings, through our whole connection. And how we discover that truly is how truly you take the time, and what you, left side of the middle, so the chest location, when you put a hand on your heart, and then you feel the energy from your gut connecting with your heart, and then can you take your hand off your heart and say rest it on a chair, right? Because the communication you had with your hand on your heart says, am I truly content? And then it goes down to like your seeds of your soul and your spirit wanting to express. And it comes up through your gut after you've asked that question. Am I truly content with the intent I'm putting forth? Am I truly content that that is like all I've got coming from my soul? Or is there guides, so now it's energy focus, including the whole divine flow? Because you're not just asking yourself as a part of a whole. You have a beautiful light focus on you all the time. And because we don't acknowledge it, it's not to go, oh, what are you talking about? And go off into doubt land and all the conversation that can go round and round and that about like energy and God and spirits and whatnot. You can do that. You can do whatever you want. But this is the energy field, because you're not just a human at the center of your own little universe having a complain about whether it's real or whether it's not. This is actually happening, and you learn it as you quieten a little and mature, because you appreciate the soul's peace inside. So you can ask yourself what you're putting out with your soul, your human and your soul. Is there something more that I can do so I feel a soul, a central to the chest connection offering? Because so when you're able to sit with that, and so heaven and earth connect in your energy field, it's your feeling, isn't it? You're going to get a feeling, you're going to get a gut response, you're going to get a depth response if you would like to do more. This is your soul trying to speak to you, your seeds trying to open and raise your consciousness, light flow upwards. And then if you get like ideas that can operate at speed because it's higher flow of your field. Heavenly is higher flow. Soul is higher connected flow, supported to live it out for growth. So who are you in action? It's all connected. Soul growth. When you can find that you can sit back in contemplation, so inner contemplation. Remember back here, I am doing it. I am contemplating. So you sit back and you put your arm out on the chair because you've asked the question. You've got heaven and earth connecting, you and heaven, soul. Take a breath. Gaze at your current presence, what's around you, and let these speak. So, your soul's going to speak in this relaxed state. Embrace that, you know, without a heavy head, battling where there is heaven and earth, in this relaxed state, you're peacefully looking out to something, you get ideas. They're flowing in, connecting with your soul. It's an energy. You can't explain it, but you've got an impulse now. This is a part of growth. Now, it takes the mature individual that has done this contemplation and not gone back to like a head-led focus, that then can act, discovering who they are in action. And then this is the ongoing journey of, I'll keep doing this checking in with myself for what I've been given, because it feels content, and I'll look out for the signs of where to expand this. Okay? So where we've got blocked along the way is, I thought I was meant to expand there. Let it go. Keep going. Do that contemplative resource of yourself with heaven and earth at any time. Life is endless availability and connection. So if we put all of our, you know, the saying, eggs in the one basket, we don't want to go, it didn't work, or any kind of intensity like that, that we then identify with and tell ourselves that's who we are. So what happens to action then? It's not bright. We are heaven on earth. We're allowed to feel bright. So if something doesn't work out, you can take action after some moment of, like the tree likes, okay, that didn't work. That's not a root system supporting my soul this lifetime. Or I'll come back to that root system. Perhaps I'm being guided to learn something else that will then feed into who I am for this lifetime. So, comprende? I do think so. I enjoy doing that. And we'll be back with any other flow communication between heaven and earth that could help. God bless everyone. Bye for now.